Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Writing Gal Pals podcast, where we talk all things writing and reading.
And no macaron taste test today, unfortunately.
Sorry, guys.
But are you whipping up any fun flavors in the kitchen?
I am starting my indie craft parade prep this week. So,
Very exciting.
Yeah, starting a bunch of my fall flavors.
Ooh. When's the Indie Craft Parade again?
It's the second weekend of September.
Awesome.
Yep.
12th through the 14th.
Yeah. Yeah, which honestly is not that far. Like,
No, it's not.
almost
It's
August.
terrible.
Can I tell you something
yeah.
fun about that? So
Sure.
I was scrolling through Regal theaters
Oh my
today
God.
on
As
the
you
app.
do.
And I was seeing that they had like the 60th anniversary of The Sound of Music back in theaters. It's like one of my favorite movies, and I was like, I was so excited. I went to buy tickets. It was the Saturday of the Indie Craft Parade. I was like,
Oh, you should
I'm
go.
free. No, it's okay. We found there's a secondary time at 7
God.
when the Indie Craft Parade ends. So, best of both worlds. I can still come and help out if you want me to. I kept that weekend free, but I still wanted to see the movie in theaters. So I'll see it at 7 when it's all done.
Lily, as a moviegoer, are you going to go see Freakier Friday by any chance?
Yeah. I mean, it
Good
cost me
question.
nothing. So, yeah.
But your time.
Yeah, like, but when
I
are you
don't
going
care.
to go see it? Because I'm actually very interested. I love me some.
If like, I don't know the actual release date of it, like the numerical release date. But if not that weekend, the weekend after. I just know that I'm traveling around the time frame of it. So just before or after my trip.
Hit me up.
I will.
Excellent.
I will be going. I'm probably I've already seen 2 or 3 movies this month. I'm gonna go see Fantastic Four.
Ooh.
Probably next week. And mystery movie on Monday. I'm going to that.
What's mystery movie on Monday?
It's a $5 movie. You don't know what you're paying for.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that.
It's fun.
What was the last mystery movie?
I haven't been to a couple of them, but the last one Becca and I saw together was Sing Sing, which ended up being like an amazing movie. And it's always movies that like I have never heard of, but they were coming out. And they probably wouldn't get as much attention as maybe the bigger blockbusters around the same time. But it's based off a true story of inmates at Sing Sing who put on a production company, basically. And a lot of the cellmates, the ex-prisoners, I guess. I don't really know. They were in the movie. They wrote the screenplay and they started
wow.
the movie. Yeah. And it was really
that's
good.
cool.
That's so cool.
And if you guys know Coleman Domingo, he is a very handsome, very talented actor, and he's always at the Met Gala dressed like to the nines. Like, this man knows fashion. I love him, and he was in it, and we were just like, this is amazing. So we saw that. We saw this movie called Theater Camp, which was hilarious. They have a lot of fun movies that you
Yeah.
wouldn't know about. We saw one that had like Ben Affleck was the star. You just show up and it's like, welcome to our movie, blah, blah, blah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that you don't know what you're getting. They don't really play previews. It's awesome.
I want to see the one with Pedro Pascal and Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
Do you?
So bad.
I don't think you do.
Oh, did you guys see it? You
Oh,
hated
I didn't
it?
even know it was out yet.
Oh, it came out in June.
I thought it was okay.
Oh, awkward. I'm like, wait.
I actually don't think it's in theaters anymore. I think
Oh.
it's coming
Is it
soon.
already gone?
Yeah.
Oh, if it's, listen, I'm a Netflix / Apple TV / HBO / Hulu / Amazon Prime person.
I think
so-
you have to rent it still. It's
fine.
rentable, but I think it's either streaming currently or it will be soon. Like I saw an announcement for it.
All right, never mind.
I think just go in with the mindset of maybe it's not really a rom-com, and it's more of a rom-dram instead.
I'm just pissed off about the ending.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Anyways, can I share my fun fact of the day I've been dying to talk about since last night? So, like, sometimes I just go down rabbit holes, and I was on Demi Lovato's Instagram page, and she's, like, doing a bunch of weird video teasers right now about, like, releasing new music. And then I went back and listened to, like, all of her old stuff. Like, she has released so many bangers in her lifetime. Can I just say that, yeah, there's been quite a few misses here and there, but, like, I kind of forgot Demi Lovato existed.
Her voice is also
voice is
amazing.
insane.
Voice is insane.
And then what was the La La Land? Like, that was my, like, however old I was.
Like the
anthem.
movie La La Land?
No, it was like the La La Land.
No idea.
Lost me on this one.
Opera. Okay. Well,
I'll have to listen to it.
so that's all I wanted to share. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Demi Lovato.
Shouts out watching this, Demi.
I love this little diversion from writing and reading. Movies immediately.
By the way, what the hell are we talking about today?
Oh, I thought like
right share?
yeah, like a little
Right,
wrap
we should have all worn our shirts.
To be fair, I did not wear this because of this. It just was coincidence. It's because I
Super
put it on
cute.
yesterday to film something for Swoon, and it wasn't dirty, so I was like, I'll just wear it again.
I do that all the time. I'll like wear a PJ shirt and be like, well, I just won because I didn't sweat through my PJ shirt. I'm wearing the PJ shirt again.
Yeah.
I took a shower. I put this on. I took it off and put on my PJs.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
This will be my outfit tomorrow for work.
Yep.
Okay.
Right share.
Right share. What did we learn?
Okay, well, I guess like it was Right Share's second summer camp, their second annual, because I think they're going to keep doing it, summer camp.
Which, for people who don't know, is it's a writing camp. Writing intensive camp. All day.
On Saturday, and we hung out at M. Judson, and there were different panels. One about self-publishing, one about like just
Publicity.
publicity.
You got it.
And then we had a generative writing session, which was always fun. But I thought we could just wrap up our thoughts about the panels that we listened to, and just if that changed, especially your guys' minds on if you're gonna publish or self-publish.
Yeah, I was thinking that the whole time, like all of our thought processes on
Yeah.
that. So especially you, Gigi, because you're like
You're closest.
so close. Yeah.
Okay. So for those who don't know, is I would like to traditionally publish only because it's kind of just, it's been a dream of mine. I also, there is a lot of work that goes into self-publishing that frankly, I know that I'm fully capable of doing it. But I don't want to do it. I want, for once in my life, for somebody to do the work for me. I mean, I'm always the like behind the scenes person of like creating content and making sure shit gets done and is promoted correctly. And for literally for once in my life, I just want to be told what to do. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize it until saying it just now, but I think that's like one of the biggest things about it for me. And it's also kind of nice about like just releasing control. Like for me, if like I was to self-publish and like it was to be not a success, it would be like it's all my fault because everything was up to me. It could end up being a success, as clearly the self-publishing authors at the panel like told us they were successful. But there's also a large chance, because I have worked like in my job, I've worked with self-publishing authors, and like what has been successful in their eyes maybe isn't in mine for like what I want. And so I've always just been wary about it. And then also like I think you can make a lot of money self-publishing, but it's also like a large investment as well. Mm-hmm. And that's not something I want to do. That said, I am so unhopeful at this point about my book getting picked up by an agent that like it's more important to me to release my work than it is to just like sit on it forever, because like I've worked for years now on this book, and like to have it die in a drawer would be so sad. That like I think my plan at this point is to give it like 6 months maybe of querying, and then if it doesn't work out, then I'm just going to publish it myself and like call it a day. But I still am very I'm going to be very persistent about my trying to query, because that is like it did reinforce to me like that's what I want. But
Can I ask a question that hopefully doesn't sound like it's discouraging, but because I think a lot of what we've learned over the last however many years is that traditional publishing no longer does the marketing and does a lot of the work that you have to do anyway for self-publishing. Does that change things for you?
No. Because I think when they are talking about that, it's more so like making social media graphics and recording videos. Like, that's easy. what I think the real marketing is, in my eyes, is like getting into bookstores and getting like author events and like that, the big publicity, like releasing press releases, and which, by the way, somebody at the class was like, I heard press releases are dead, and I was like, sit back down, that's not true. And then like like I guess all of the downstream marketing, rather than like just the social media content we're thinking of, which is like, that's easy, but like the bigger picture stuff, the doing ads for your book, and getting onto huge email lists, stuff like that, I think is the marketing that they are still doing for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think like one thing this summer of owning my own business and the Macaron thing has been doing it totally on your own is a lot, and it's like every little piece relies on you. And so that's something I've always thought like, oh, I would love to self-publish, like I'm totally fine with that. But then now I'm like, okay, if traditional publishing, I can be in charge of even 60% of things, but they do this 40% and like that's their thing. That kind of sounds nice to me, so I feel that.
And like the last thing I'll say is I do have a full-time job, and like to be able to properly market my book, to be able to properly, like, if you even think about the stupid stuff that's like, you have to write your own blurb on Amazon. People are going to buy your book or not based on that blurb. And like large companies have professionals who do that. Like, I'm a creative writer, I'm not a blurb writer. And so it's stuff like that that like require a lot of time that frankly I unfortunately don't have. And so that's another reason where it's like I would like to have somebody like on my side to what's the word I'm looking for? Not endorse me, to be my champion.
Yeah. Advocate, champion, yeah.
So what about you guys though?
Go ahead, Casey, because you were... What were your thoughts while you were listening?
I kept going back and forth, which I think that's good, because I'm like open to either. I do still have that inner, oh, it would be so fun to get picked up by like a traditional publisher. But also I went to the Ashley Poston book event last week, and she has, I guess, what I would consider the dream of, she's romance author, published by Berkeley, and her whole book was about burnout, and she's talked before about like publishing industry being like really horrible. So I kind of see both sides of that. And then like the self-publishing panel, they were talking about like their freedom, they had to choose everything. So I don't know, I'm torn between both. I see the good in both, I guess. At this point, I think I am going to try to do like querying for a little bit.
Awesome.
I definitely want to do the Right Share querying class that they're doing.
Remind me to ask you guys after we're done with this chat to ask you guys a question about that.
Okay. But yeah, so I think I'll try it, but my hopes aren't like set super high. I'm also at this point like probably going to keep my full-time job no matter what happens. So I'm not too worried about, like which one it will be right now. So we'll see. But I'm also a lot earlier in the process than you are in you too, Michelle. So what about you?
So I went into this thinking I was going to self-publish, and I definitely still am.
Queen.
So it was motivating. I don't know why like one silly comment of like having a deadline for yourself hit home, and I was just like, yes, I need to like think through those things, versus like, okay, I'm done now, what's next? So that was really big. And sorry, it was an older gentleman who's on his third book.
Was that the Ron guy?
Ron, not Ron, Vance.
Yeah, Vance. Why did I think his name was Ron?
I can see him. I can see him as a Ron.
Casual old guy
for
name.
Sure, yeah,
I don't know.
But he made the comment of telling someone that he had a deadline, and they kind of scoffed at him like, "Oh, you're a self-publisher or self-published," and he's like, "No, I have deadlines. I need to make through those." So that was just for whatever reason that hit home with me. I'm a little. Here's the thing. I'm going to be real with myself in the sense that I'm probably not going to do the amount of work that like Penny was doing to market her book, or like, but I also and this might be, you guys might yell at me for this. I'm at the point in my life where like I'm okay. Like I dreamt of being published my whole life. Like I remember like dreaming about being on Oprah's bestseller list at like 12. You know what I mean? Like I remember all those dreams. But I have a solid career. I'm good with my career path, just whatever degree I am. This I'm doing purely for the fun of it and for the enjoyment of it, and with that mindset, I was able to write a book in a year. You know what I mean? And so I love that, and I don't want to ruin that because I know that I will get hit. I personally am way too sensitive and get hung up on the rejections. I know that about myself. So I want to just keep going. I want to self-publish this, and if it goes somewhere, and I will do what I can do for the marketing for sure, but I'm just going to open my Word doc and work on the next thing. Like
I think that mindset is what's going to make you successful.
For sure.
We'll see. But thank you. But I'm hoping, like, to me, this is my success. And I don't mean that to take away from, like, I want the drive. Like, the drive is amazing. But I think I'm just at a point in my life where this is good for me, you know?
Yeah.
And it might change. I might put this out there and go, F that, I did all this work and I'm gonna now I really want somebody to read it. I don't know, but at the moment that's my mindset.
I mean, every single time I get a rejection, which is quite often, it's like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I have very thick skin, and this is like breaking me.
You've blood, sweat, and tears literally into something to have somebody like barely bat an eye at it.
Well, that's like the thing is like Andre said is, I used to customize my queries, and Andre's like, show them the same respect they show you.
Exactly.
Which is none.
Exactly.
So.
Yep. Yeah.
Lily.
Lily.
From an outsider's perspective, like, give us your thoughts.
And I know you want to compile essays, right? And kind of craft a book. So what would you do with that?
I probably wouldn't self-publish it.
No?
I just, I don't know. I feel at this point it's like probably impossible that I'll get a full collection of stories written, like essays written. I don't know why, but it's just like I feel, at least in this moment, that I have no time for it. So when I can get one written, it's like great. And I wish I had more of that, like, and maybe it is just a matter of like having, I guess in a way, like you're setting deadlines to set goals for me in terms of like essays. But I don't think that like publishing a book is something I will end up doing currently because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. I have no time.
You need a Hermione like time turner.
Yeah,
for real. Yeah.
If I could do that and then like still wake up refreshed, I would.
Use that for more sleep because I don't remember her doing that. I'm like, girl.
I would like have a full day and then set the clock back to get 8 hours.
Exactly.
Just so I could like really feel like I could. But I mean, I think though, if it ever got to that point, whoever knows, like, I mean, I still have so many more years left on Earth unless the world dies before I do. But
I think that's one thing.
Not on a good path.
I know. Doomsday.
But I have time. It's just like right now it's just mostly Swoon and my day job and trying to have a life outside of those two things. But if I were to do a publishing, like I don't know, I feel like sometimes for nonfiction, and it's probably different for me because I'm not associated with a university, like small university presses publish those, which are in and of themselves traditional publishing for nonfiction, but I'm not associated with any university, so I'm not really sure how that would go. I only know it in like the academic sense where there are professors or students who like are working in their MFA who then get things published that way, and I'm neither of those things right now.
I did work for Alabama's University Press. I'm sure the two ladies I worked for have retired / died, but
I'm always like,
I might have some.
You know what's so fun is I submitted a story to CFC's lit magazine, and I got that rejection from them, and I'm like, fuck you guys. You literally taught me.
Yeah.
So if you want to reject, that's a reflection on you guys.
Yes.
Anyways. But I think like I would want the traditional way about it, and that, I mean, it could be like through a university press, or I just don't want to do it. I mean, Gigi's doing my social media. I have no like mental capacity to come up with some sort of plan to promote myself. And also, I'm writing too many personal things I don't want to give out to my family.
Yeah.
So, like,
oh my God.
The less
Very
that
fair.
they don't see it, the more eager I think I would be to publish something underneath my own name.
Yeah, very fair.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I comment on your you have a long life to live? I think one of the things that I have like scolded myself in the sense of like, of course I picked the creative avenue that like everyone in the world wants to tell you that you're doing it wrong, and everyone in the world wants to correct the way you're doing it. But on the flip side of that, what I would always tell myself is this is the one, probably not the one, because painting is probably a part of that too, but like, you get older, you get better as you get older, and you're never too old. Like, you know what I mean? You can't pick up, sorry, you might be able to some degree. You can't pick up dance at 45 or 50 or 55, but you could write forever. Yeah. So I think
that's really
just
cool.
to
Yeah, and I didn't mean for that to seem like it was negative, this whole like, oh, I don't see that happening for myself. It's just like in this current place, I don't see that me being self-published is something like I'm putting, or being published is something like you're actively working towards that. I'm not. So that's just why I'm saying it's not now, and who knows what it'll be. But like, to go off of your thoughts, so I had, I have a friend who moved to New York after she graduated from college, and she was a few years behind me in school, and she came into my office one day talking about graduation, and she went to New York to pursue theater acting, and this was of course right before the pandemic happened. So that kind of just, whatever, derailed things for her for the moment, but she still went to New York, and she was just kind of talking about just general fears of things like that, like, going to New York, pursuing theater acting, because anything in the arts is hard to make a career out of. And I was like, I'm pretty sure Robert De Niro didn't become famous until he was in his late 30s. Yeah. And so then I was like, let me Google that. And I Googled it because I didn't want to be wrong. And I was like, he did not get The Godfather Part 2 until he was in his late 30s. And I was like, and he's fucking successful.
Exactly. Well, I think I Washington was older.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot.
Many.
Like, there you see people who are young and successful, and you compare them to them. But if you think of like the big players, or bigger players, I should say, people who have been in industries for years, whether it's writing, whether it's art, whether it's acting, a lot, like there are those stories, like you said, where like maybe you're not going to become a ballerina at 45 just because you decide to be one. Your body is not as flexible as someone who's been doing it when they were young, but like there are those avenues. So I just think I try not to get hung up. Like I try to have your perspective of where I'm doing it for fun, but I am also like, I've submitted a couple of things when I've gotten them finished, and if I've gotten a rejection, it sucks. But like when I'm still trying, like it's still fun for me to submit, and if I get rejected, whatever, it's happened before. If I get accepted, or when I get accepted, that'll be like an excellent win,
Yep, for sure.
That was my long-winded answer.
When it comes to right chair and stuff like this, I loved the conversation around the tenses and like pulling all that out. As people who went to school for this, and sorry, Casey, but I'm like honestly curious about this, meaning there, obviously. Is that still just as fun for you guys? Like, do you still enjoy that?
Yeah. Like line editing, you mean?
No, I'm
copy
so sorry,
editing,
because I should know. No, the conversation that we talked about, Night Bitch, and we talked about the other story the tension, and like all
that's
of that.
so fun.
Because I thought that was so interesting.
It's great. You learn something. You could probably hear the same talk over and over again. You would still learn something.
That makes me want, like, that whole part of Right Chair, which, thank you, I forgot that was even part of it. That was the first session. That made me want to go back to school.
Yeah, that's so
I literally was like, do I just go back to school?
Hey, do you have some time for MFA? You got it.
No, I have dreams sometimes of being like, I think I would be such a good like college professor and just like teaching. Well,
that's the only thing.
I would have to go to school,
I
obviously.
mean, to be fair, like that would be my pipeline for me. If I went for an MFA for creative writing, it would be to teach, which is why I did not end up going to the MFA program that I got accepted to, because I was like, I don't want to teach.
Yeah. And I don't want to pay money.
Yeah.
And also it was during COVID, and I didn't want to go to school during COVID. So I was like, you know what? It's not for me.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I said, thank you, I'll pass. But I did go through that whole process, and I did really, and when we had that session, I missed like that in that world or that involvement, which is why editing Gigi's book was really fun. Which is why I am literally bullying you to get my hands on your book.
Well, I'm talking to Casey on Thursday, so give me a month to incorporate what she has.
Timeline. You've already laid out what you want, but that's really fun for me to like dive into those nitty gritty details.
So
it's
fun.
like what I love to do. So like that, I loved that session. I thought that was so much fun.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest regrets, because, well, I mean, there's a lot.
You would be a good professor too.
Oh, thank you. But I like, news flash, I've always been very, like, lacked a lot of confidence. And so I really, really, really wanted to go to school for English. And I was like, nope, I can't do it. And never did. And I wish I would have. But I also never really wanted to be a teacher. But I feel like academics, I would have done well. Like, I don't want to be a high school teacher, I guess. But I did sign up for my MFA, like, right after my divorce, which was the dumbest situation. And so I literally lasted, like, 2 weeks. Something major happened, which I'll tell you offline. And and I was like, no, I can't do this, and dropped it. But it was, like, one of the online schools. Like, I don't even know how valid that would have been, but I just wanted to do it to go through the classes and have the experience and do all that. But
there are these classes that I've looked at, and I haven't applied for them because I think it's a happy medium, but I really want to do it. And I'm sure you can get them elsewhere, but I just know about the online programs through the University of Washington, but they have like a certificate you can get for editing. So it's
cool.
Maybe
Yeah, that
2
is cool.
semesters. Maybe 2 semesters.
That's neat. I feel like I need that.
A much cheaper option for like something to basically boost credibility and resume.
That's very cool.
But you get the more proper editing education in terms of, and I already learned some of it in school because I took a class on it, but just like copy editing, like literally the just marks of copy editing, and there's just like different classes. I think you take in like 6 classes or whatever, and then you get the certificate in editing, and it's just a way to boost your resume or whatever. I already said that, but I've kind of been interested in doing that, and I think it'd end up being a couple of $1,000s. So it'd be something that like I ultimately would be saving towards, but I would love to do that within the next couple of years.
That's very cool.
Yeah, because I mean, it's things that I learned, but then it would just be like a more niche focused part of it, you know, because my degree is in writing, so obviously I was doing that part of it, and by proxy learning the copy editing part of it too, and that would just be focusing on the copy editing, which I really, really enjoy. So
that's really cool.
Even if it's just like for me, even if it's just for me to get in that habit, that educational setting again.
But
might be
I
worth
mean,
it.
not that you guys need it, but that would help with Gilly. I mean, that would definitely be an investment for that. If you do that, or if you don't mind sending information, I would just do it for my own personal knowledge.
That's the thing. Like, it would just be something fun for me. Like, because I find that really fun, and I've always loved to get to the nitty gritty of like sentence structure and grammatical stuff. So like, just to be able to be like, yeah, she's took these classes, she's certified in it, maybe that could lend just me to build up my portfolio of editing, because I think ultimately that's like where my passion is.
Have y'all heard of Coursera?
Yeah.
So I have like mostly boring things like accounting and programming related, I know. But they have a bunch of writing stuff on there that's like totally free.
If
you don't pay for it, you don't get like the certificate part of it. But I have done a couple of creative writing things on there, and it's like, one of them was University of Michigan, and it went through like all of the outside parts of your book, like synopsis and blurb and stuff. And so they just like put it all together. You don't get to participate in discussions, right? Because you're not paying for it. But I don't really need that part. I just want to watch the videos, and it's all like laid out week by week what you should watch. So
that's probably a great one. Yeah.
To at least get started,
and,
for free. So
the question that
I was gonna say, I was gonna be like, before we move on any further, like Gigi had a question earlier.
Yeah. Well, because I think it's actually kind of related. So Lindsay was asking about like, what if we did some beginner classes at RightShare? And then she had suggested like, building a scene. And I said, maybe even like doing exercises for scene versus summary. And then the other one that I suggested was like, just go through the different methods of starting to write your book, like outlining, plotting, pantsing, like showing people that there's so many different ways. There's not one way, but like, I think so many people have a hard time like picking up a pen and just like getting down. So like offering people different paths. So I also told her I'd ask you guys, like, if you were a beginner, like what kind of class would you want?
2 things come to mind. Well, not really come to mind, I guess. Agreeing with you, I would love like an outlining class, because I've always been a pantser, and I know I will probably always be a pantser, but I need to at least know where to start for outlining. That I think that would be awesome. and I loved, and this probably goes in line with what we're talking about with line editing and copywriting and stuff like that, but the one really quick session we just had on, like, you just highlight all your verbs and then you go in and look at all your verbs. Like, simple things like that I have no idea is a good practice. And that I got so much out of it. It was like a 15-minute thing that we did. And I got so much out of that.
It was like, go through and find your weak verbs, like are and psst. That's all I can think of.
I had a professor in college who said, read your the draft and go through and see how many times you write the, and then delete the ones that are unnecessary because you're probably overusing the word.
That's cool.
And that is
very cool.
That's a use of your time, but it was a good suggestion. You know what I mean? It's little things like that.
Like the one girl that she self-publishes, she makes videos. She has her editor will like highlight all of her clutch words and be like, you said jump 200 times. Go through and like diminish it by 50% or something, which I think is really cool.
It's awesome. So Em, who was in our session, and you guys might know her from other things, but she is the one that's doing really cool stuff with AI. Not writing with AI, but how to use it when you're building stuff. And one of them was to go in, and I forget what she was doing because I like terrible, but I got out of the conversation of like going in and having it look at all your verbs, and it would just highlight everything and do all that stuff. The hard part is I'm lazy, and because you can only do so many pages at a time, and I'm like, well, then I'm like storing this off, and I can remember this document number 15 is page this through this, and I was like, I'm not doing all that, but it was neat, and then it was just cool in a passage to pull different things, and then you can change the code to look for your thus, look for your this, look for this.
If it helps, I mean, it's definitely a lengthier process, but if you have someone reading it, they're gonna catch that. Like they're gonna catch it because it's not in your head. It's true. In their head, so that's like, I mean, I can read your draft and be like, you overuse this word. Like that's a very, and like even if it's just highlighting, like, hey, one time you've said this word this amount of times, go through your draft, copy, find, replace them.
Yeah,
you know
for sure. Because I know it bothers me as a reader when I'm reading a book, and I'm like, gosh, you've said this 10 times.
So someone else can catch that for you without you having to do that kind of the manual work for it. Like whenever I get around to reading yours, like I will probably catch things, and I'll say things like that.
Why did Michelle say pants 7 times in one sentence?
Exactly.
That's so weird, Michelle.
She actually does. Like people do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Getting back to your answer or your question, Casey. I don't know if you have an answer to that. I think the class of the different types of writing would be definitely helpful, because I think people sometimes think you have to be structured.
Right. And
it could literally be you thought of a way a book could end, and then you write it, and now you have to fill in the blanks. I think just being like even told that sort of thing, or even finding, because I'm sure there are very well-known authors who have been like, oh, well, I started this book in the middle, and having them be like examples of that, you know what I mean? Like pulling that sort of stuff.
I love the examples,
Yeah, just to be like, because I'm sure they've given, like, I'm sure Stephen King has to have given something like that where he's like, well, and also maybe like where you get your inspiration from, which Lindsay has already kind of done that for like nonfiction, but I think like it could be beneficial for fiction writers to maybe get like to have a class like on where to use everyday inspiration for fictional pieces too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because I think you could easily see, I don't know, like a little girl playing in the sand on the beach and having that be the start of some wild fantasy story or something like that, like the twists and turns of that.
I even did that when I was editing. I was sitting on my front porch, and I was like looking at the way the sun was like casting shadows on the ground, and like, okay, like how that actually looks, like it's turning the grass a darker shade or whatever. Like you can find so many everyday things.
Well, going off of that, like even if it's like a class outside, like on a weekend,
I like that.
During the day, go to a very populated place.
Not
maybe
during like July though.
No, we're talking spring or fall only. No extreme weather, but just like go, and then like she does with all. She being Lindsay, the generative writing classes she does, just give us prompts on things. Cool. Like, because I had a professor in college do that, where she's like, let's go outside and write X, and just go from there, because I mean she's big on what you notice is how you find inspiration.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Casey?
So I feel like I'm different, maybe because I went to school for accounting and not writing.
Nerd alert.
But yeah.
Just kidding. I just paid $500 for somebody to pay my taxes, or do my taxes.
To pay your taxes would be great.
I know. That would be cool.
Yeah. Just don't tell me. Yeah. So I like in the Write Share, the summer camp, when we did the generative writing thing, my brain does not like that. It goes into like panic mode.
I agree with that. I do the same thing.
And I was literally writing about my like lawn turtle Lenny. Like
Aw, cute.
I love that.
Adorable. That's sweet.
It's adorable.
He has a good name.
I was
but
writing
that's
about keychains. Like my keychain.
Well, just all these people, like, you know, shared all of
they
their,
were
like...
poets, though.
Yeah.
And
No, they
I
were
don't
for
mean
sure.
that in any other way than they know how to use language.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was
that was
crazy.
that was
Mine
terrifying.
so
It was
stupid.
terrifying to
That
listen
was-
to.
It
makes
like,
you feel very
I
stupid.
know.
Well, and they also have a brain for short form
Yeah.
writing.
That's fair.
It's different, I
Yeah.
think, when you're writing long form. Lenny is a great thing to write about.
Lenny's
Thank
perfect.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. One day I'll share. No, I will never share that with the world. Anyway, so yeah, my brain like panics when it's like, okay, you know, do this or like look out at the world and then write this. And if I'm told that, my brain is just going to be like, okay, I have no clue what to put on the page. But when we do like the first session, when it was like, all right, look at this and like this other writing and like generate stuff
Analyze
from
it.
that,
Yeah.
analyze it. Like, I love to read. So if I read and I get to think about writing while I'm reading, I love that. And I listen to Savannah Gilbo, which I think you
I love
sent
her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's so
uh-huh.
great. And she does all of her podcasts pretty much. She'll use examples like read a whole scene from something.
Wait, who is this?
Savannah Gilbo, she has a podcast, I think it's called Fiction Writing Made
Easy. Oh.
Yeah. All of her episodes are like 15 to 25 minutes.
Nice.
And she covers like everything. But she does one on interiority where she talks about like basically showing instead of telling and stuff. And like instead of saying, all right, think of one of your characters and generate all of this stuff, she goes through examples from other books. And that helps my mind come up with stuff more than telling me to come up with it. So maybe for the writers like me, more of a like using examples of other books and things.
Very cool.
I'm so happy you said that because I absolutely go into panic mode. But what I'm thinking you might like is the one exercise we did at the end of Write Share. And I'm sorry, guys, because I'm terrible remembering things. But it was like they did this, they did this, they did this, and it was like you had to put that into some sort of scene. Do you remember what I'm talking about? I think you walked in a little bit late, but I know you were there. Like, okay, I'm sorry to anybody who's listening because I'm butchering this, but I know I have my paper, so I'll show it to you because it was a really great way to go, oh no, you have to put this together. And so it's like, I have an idea for a scene that somebody's sitting at the table, but I don't really know what that means or what that's supposed to look like. But it was putting these actionable things together to get to a point.
Okay. Yeah.
That's so, because I work the opposite. I work from like, I have this big picture, I have the idea for the beginning, I have the idea for the end, and then I go, ooh, let's figure out like how I could use a scene to get me to the next step. Versus like having an idea for the scene and then like figuring out what it means.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Could a potential class be like how to use writing prompt books in your favor? There are like so many
that's
writing
interesting.
prompt books,
Yeah.
like where it's just maybe like a page, but obviously you can go much further than that. But it's like write about blank, whatever the topic is, and like how you can use that, if not in your actual story that you're writing, but as a tool to help you write or a tool to help you observe or something like that. I don't know.
That's a fun idea.
I've never
do
used
love
them.
that.
I've always wanted to because I feel like I don't really know how to do it properly.
Yeah, I love that.
So I would
agree.
I want that class for me.
Okay. Yeah. I'm literally going to clip this part of the podcast and just send it to Lindsay and say, Lindsay, do what you want with it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Hi, Lindsay.
I feel like we've been going on for a while.
Probably.
We're at 45 exactly.
That's phenomenal.
I know.
Is there anything anybody else wants to share before we wrap?
Books. What
All
we're
right.
reading.
Oh yeah,
Hells yeah.
of course. Because we're gonna cut.
Oh, we are. We'll see what we cut.
I think we have a
good
few
chunk
minutes
to
that
cut.
we can cut. Fill it with the.
So
books.
I am 40 pages into The Night and the Moth. I was reading it while I was watching K-pop Demon Hunters, and I got.
What is that?
It's totally awesome.
I've
It's
seen
the
that
best movie.
so many
it's literally the
places
best
now.
movie of the year. Their K-pop singers / demon hunters. It's animated and it will change your life.
Oh, that's why I'm out. I don't do animation.
I don't either. However, I do K-pop, and so I was like,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
sign me up. Anyways, I'm loving The Night and the Moth. I wanted to mention though, I noticed she used the same word like one sentence after another, and I was like, girl,
Yeah, see what we're talking about.
but it is fantastic, and I already know I'm probably gonna give it 5 stars. I just have that feeling.
40 pages in.
Yeah.
And after Casey's review, I can't wait to read it.
I know.
Wait,
You
okay.
gave
Did
it 5 stars too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so behind you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be
That
a
would
good
be
one.
incredible if all of us gave that book 5 stars.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be
I just
wild.
ate the microphone.
How did it taste?
Stale.
Yep, that sounds right. What you reading, Lily?
I just read Just for the Summer. No, that's
Summer in the City.
thank you.
Can I just say I loved your silent reviews? That was the cutest
It was
thing ever.
really cute.
I really was like, I have to send this to Gigi, and it's gonna be no sound. It was so
I
weird.
loved it.
My favorite's when she's going like this, and then all of a sudden she goes.
I was like, I have to muster up how I feel about this with my facial expressions. It was so weird.
So I'm so sorry. Was
No,
that
it's
your
okay.
idea?
It
was one of the ones you sent me.
We both had the idea
Yeah.
collectively.
Yeah, I'm
cute.
trying to get some videos filmed for swim stuff.
We're
and
gonna
they're,
get
like,
to 10K
kind of-
followers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to try. I have a very random. I just want to have 10K by the end of the year. I don't know if I'll get
It's
there.
a fantastic
I'm
goal.
definitely
Yeah.
So all of you thousands
Exactly.
of listeners.
But so I just read
Summer in the City.
Summer in the City. And it was really cute. And I was telling Casey before we started recording was that I'm kind of alternating between a book that's on my TBR and an arc that I have. So I'm going to switch to an arc tonight, but then the new Carissa Broadbent book comes out in 2 weeks or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm going to read, I haven't read either Slaying the Vampire Conqueror or Conquering the Vampire Slayer. It's
Look it up.
Those two
One
words
of
are in
those.
there and they're flip-flopped and I can't remember them.
All right.
And then I'm gonna I'm gonna read, basically I'm gonna get caught up for the new release. So that's what I'm gonna be reading in terms of fantasy romantasy soon.
Next up.
Casey, what do you read?
I just finished Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston.
Oh, cute.
I saw you gave it 4. I
gave
was
it
happy for you.
Yes, I was happy for me too because
we
she
see.
she wrote 7 Year Slip, which one of my favorite books ever.
6 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I will never get over it. And then her next book did not love as much at all. It just didn't click with me. So this one, and I've been to her events and met her, and she's so goofy and weird, and I love her. So I want to love her books, and I did really like this
Okay,
one.
good.
So I was
Good,
happy.
good.
Yeah. Honestly, my least favorite part was the romance, which your review kind of said similar things.
Yeah.
The romance was a little
Whatever.
but the rest was great.
Yeah.
I loved the music venue and the beach. That
I
was great.
cried, but at the end, it was 12 a.m. and I was
Yeah.
full on snot cropping.
I was not
Whatever.
cropping, y'all.
Snot crying in my room. So yeah, I thought it was a really everything else kind of. Besides the romance, and I'm just not someone who connects with music. That's why I gave it a 3. It was just the subject matter. I was
Valid.
cool.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I thought it was good. Yeah.
But the rest was well done. Yeah, I liked it. And then I just put doll parts on my
Nice.
side table to start reading. So I'll probably start that today.
Michelle?
I just finished All Parts, so that was awesome. 5 stars. I'll do a video and then I know we'll all talk about it and we're going to interview her. So, but I just started and because I can't remember the book's name at all. Is it The Unmaking of June
Unmaking of June Farrow.
So Gigi recommended this book to me and I literally opened it, read that first half page and then I just haven't.
Don't you love doing that?
But-
You're just
I know.
little teaser.
just dipping into it and then that was it. So I that is my next, that's what I will be reading. So yeah.
Cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Right Share was good. Camp was good.
Camp was great.
Lots to think about.
Yeah.
I do think we need to get up and move a little bit in the middle of the day because
What's fair right now? I was like,
Yeah, I
No.
was
No.
very confused about that.
no, won't be doing that. But there was definitely if there's feedback I could give them, it would be really nice to
Yes,
get up and
that
move.
last session, I
Oh my
think
gosh, I felt so
everyone was
bad.
falling
Oh my God.
asleep. So
and she was interesting.
She was great.
engaging. Yeah.
I felt so
She
bad. I
was
was
cute.
literally on the couch and she was great. It was definitely not her.
Yeah.
It was me. But yeah.
All
It was
right, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks.
Thanks, Mayhem.
Bye.